these medicines, it depends which psychedelic, but I would put ketamine and mushrooms and MDMA towards the top of the list. They're profoundly powerful for regrowing your brain, for processing deep trauma that's hard to do. And they can be incredibly sacred with the right intention. Their job is to show you the door and help you see what it's like on the other side so you can find the door in your own life, but not to rely on them.
I got to sit down recently with Dave Asprey, the father of biohacking, and I asked him to rate about 9 biohacks on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best. Hear his insights on peptides, methylene blue, psychedelics, and even intimacy. We'll start with nicotine.
It's a 10 as long as you're not smoking or vaping, and it's low dose.
Hydrogen water.
It's about a 6.5. It depends if you need it. If you need it, it can be really powerful. I like it.
Coffee.
If it's mold-free, it's going to be a 10. If it's got mold in it, it's going to be a 5. And I don't say that because I sell mold-free coffee. I created mold-free coffee because I couldn't buy it. And when I drink normal green label coffee, I get jitters and cranky and I don't feel good and I get anxiety. I drink my mold-free coffee. And it's not just me, it's millions of people who've learned this lesson. So dirty coffee, bad. Clean coffee, good. But even dirty coffee can extend your life in multiple studies.
Fascinating. Oh my gosh. Methylene blue.
7.
And why? Why 7?
Too much methylene blue, like when you take a higher dose of it, it's actually just an antidepressant, an old school MAO-B inhibitor. And that can have effects on libido. And a lot of people think they're getting mitochondrial energy. They're just less depressed. If you have bad mitochondrial transport, it'll improve it. If you have good stuff, it'll unimprove it. So if it works for you or you're using it for a specific condition, it's really powerful. But to just have everyone take methylene blue all the time might not be the right strategy.
Psychedelics.
They're a 1 and a 10. If you're the Aubrey Marcus type, dude, I dropped a God bomb, which is my ego-driven name for ayahuasca plus a bunch of other stuff I put together, and I downloaded that I should impregnate someone other than my wife. Okay, that would be a 1 use. Like, dude, you've done Aya 87 times. When are you going to notice it's not working? Right? And then these medicines, it depends which psychedelic, but I would put ketamine and mushrooms and MDMA towards the top of the list. They're profoundly, with facilitation, profoundly powerful for regrowing your brain, for processing deep trauma that's hard to do. And they can be incredibly sacred with the right intention. Their job is to show you the door and help you see what it's like on the other side so you can find the door in your own life, but not to rely on them. So that's why it's very polarized at both ends of the spectrum. And just because humor is one of my love languages, I actually had some mushrooms the other day, and God told me to impregnate Aubrey Marcus. Sorry.
All right. Well, I'll leave that between you two. Okay. I only have 4 more. Peptides like GLP-1.
It's a 1, a 5, and a 10, depending on the use case. So if you're using it just to lose weight and you're not doing any of the other protocols I published, it is so bad for you. It will destroy your bones. You'll lose all your muscle mass. Like, it's a bad thing. It's a 5 if you're using it for weight loss and you are eating enough protein, which is more than you want, and you're doing some weight-bearing exercise and supporting your mitochondria. Dude, it's going to help you lose weight that was hard to lose, and being obese is a risk factor for everything bad. So, like, this is profoundly good. But it becomes a 10 when you use low-dose GLP drugs for longevity. So maybe 10 to maybe 25% of the normal dose, you use that once a week, and it stops Alzheimer's and all these other diseases of aging. So low-dose GLP-1s are 10 because they're longevity drugs. They're weight loss drugs. It's a 5, and it's hard to do, but it's great for weight loss when you do it with other things. And if you do them just by themselves, it's a 1 because the metabolic risk is high.
Awesome. You're doing great. We're almost done. Breathwork.
It's a 10, provided that you know which kind of breath work to do. So in Heavily Meditated, there's a chapter on breath work, and there's kind of 3 buckets of breath work. There's replace psychedelics with breath work. There's energize yourself with breath work. And then there's drop into a very peaceful, calm state with breath work. So you must choose the right type of breath work for the state you're seeking. If you choose the wrong one, you're saying, well, I wanted to calm down. Instead, I blasted off into outer space. That wouldn't be a 10. But appropriate use, 10 out of 10. It's very, very powerful.
Awesome. What about intimacy?
Intimacy, 10 out of 10. It is a form of nourishment for your energetic body that is profoundly important. When it's done right, with intention, with a sacredness, with a playfulness, it is an incredible source of nourishment and power. This libido is life force energy, is chi, is ability to make change happen in the world. It doesn't matter if you're creating a movement, creating a company, creating a baby, creating a life. It's the same energy. And if you learn to master it and cultivate it the same way you learn to cook a good meal, you can use intimacy to heal the most incredible things, to enter the altered states that psychedelics take you to. But you've got to learn how to do it, just like you have to learn how to do breath work. So intimacy, 10 out of 10. If you're lacking intimacy in your life, you probably aren't going to live as long, and you certainly won't live as well.
And last but not least, meditation.
4.
I'm shocked because your latest book was heavily meditated. What?
Here's why. Meditation by itself totally works, but it takes enormous amounts of time. You literally would take 10 to 20% of the population and you'd put them in a cave or a monastery and tell them to meditate all day, every day to learn some stuff. So the amount of time that it takes to meditate without the attending tools that go along with it, it's too much time. The ROI is not as good as it should be. I just interviewed Tony Nader on my podcast, who is the head of the Transcendental Meditation movement, an MIT and Harvard trained neuroscientist, just an incredible human being with just such a loving energy. And we kind of talked about that. It's like, yeah, you do meditation, but you make a sound during the meditation. Oh, so now you're doing sound and meditation. And then you add the right breath work to the meditation. And in my world, you also add some electrodes on your head to make sure you're doing it right, which is 40 years of Zen, where
Yes.
I have the knowledge about forgiveness to put in heavily meditated. So the point is, meditation by itself is too slow. So let's use things that accelerate your state change with meditation. So meditation plus appropriate accelerators or enhancers, that becomes a 10. But I would be sad if we all had to spend 6 hours a day meditating to be happy, because then we wouldn't be able to parent, right?
Right. So meditation accelerated.
Yeah, so unassisted meditation is a 4. Meditation with all of the things that make you reach the states you're seeking in an efficient and effective way so you can also show up in the world, that's a 10.
Oh my gosh, well, this has been a 10 of a conversation. Dave Asprey, I admire you so much. I'm so grateful for the ways in which you show up in the world. Let's stay connected, my friend. Thanks again.
Absolutely. Thank you, Hilda. Thanks for what you're doing in the world. Thank you for supporting the Consciousness Day that we did. And I just appreciate how you're showing people a better way.